It will be the counterplan.
Are you going to go to her overview?
Yeah, her overview first. Don't scare me like that. Alright.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Ready? Everyone? She says that our enforcement is through normal means for specific reasons as to why we will ultimately use these type of reactors. However, their evidence is inconclusive on this point. It does not indicate that the plan would use these type of sodium-cooled reactors. They say that it is an option, which is specific reasons as to why they will not be able to access this argument and why the 2AC clarification will be justified. They need to read a conclusive, specific link on this point in order to be able to access these arguments. Reading arguments that say that alien skull bones can be used in a thorium reactor does not justify picking out of alien skull bones. You need to read specific evidence indicating that the plan would ultimately result in that use, which is not what they do. None of their evidence is conclusive on this point. If they had read evidence that the DOE promotion would inevitably lead to the development of sodium-cooled reactors, then that would be the type of link that they would be able to garner. However, they do not do this argument. They do not have any competition on this point, which is specific reasons as to why you should reject the counterplan and why you should allow for the 2AC clarification. If we win if we win the perm both, or if we win the 2AC clarification, or if we win that there is no net benefit to the counterplan, then you should vote. Affirmative, because they have the burden. Because when the negative reads the counterplan, they have the burden of proof to prove that there is a net benefit to the counterplan. Otherwise, you default to the affirmative case. Drop down to the 2AC. Drop down to the 2AC number 5 argument. The 2AC clarification. She says we have to hold them to the plan. We have to hold them to the plan text. However, she has conceded that you need to read specific link evidence on. You need to read specific link evidence on this point as the plan action. As the plan action says, we should default to their evidence, but their evidence is god awful on this point. I will also extend our Dean 6 evidence on this point that we are an ADS reactor. I'll answer our analysis at the bottom, but this evidence contextualizes the type of reactor we use, and also justifies the 2AC clarification. She says the normal means argument. However, the evidence is god awful. The evidence is god awful on this point. Additionally, we can use the evidence they read about lead being able to be used in any type of nuclear reactor to say that is more normal means, specifically because of the fact that it is more commonly used. This proves the nebulous nature of their competition claims because they're uncertain. Unless they read conclusive evidence on this point, you should not allow them to have a net benefit. If you extend it to EC number 6, the Dean Salt's meltdowns argument, all of their arguments presume that some type of meltdown with sodium coolant reactor, where sodium escapes from the reactor core, clogging the systems, or sodium coolant explode in space. First, the space argument is specific to spaceships, not to nuclear reactors. But if we win the Dean 6 evidence, which they've conceded, then you will extend this piece of evidence. Across, and it specifically indicates that the thorium reactors are uniquely would be completely unable to cause any type of nuclear meltdown, which is what preventing any radiation or any type of elements from escaping from the core, which is what the internal links to all of their impacts are generated off of. This specific reason as to why they won't have a net benefit to the counterplan and why you should vote affirmative. Additionally, she says functional competition is good in a world where we win the 2AC clarification argument, or in a world where we win the perm do both argument. Then we're going to win that. We're going to win that there's no risk of then the functional competition argument is irrelevant. Go to the perm do the counterplan. She says severance that we're allowed to spike out of it. However, none of her arguments are responsive to the fact that this is uniquely justified in the instance where they don't read a specific link. If they read a specific link and then we clarified out of it, then this would ultimately this in of itself would link to all their arguments. However, they've conceded that the nebulous nature of their net benefit claims ultimately justified this. They've also conceded they say that it allows us to spike out and kills our ground. However, they've conceded that cross-ex checks abuse. There's a reason you have a cross-examination period, and it's to garner links for your dissads and for your net benefits. A specific reason. It allows us to garner for net benefits and stuff. If we lied in cross-examination, then the judge would have a reason to either just tank our speaks or in an out-round vote us down. These are specific reasons to why cross-ex would uniquely check abuse in this point. She says it turns the best policy option. However, she's conceded the analysis my partner made that it's critical to check the minute details that ultimately pick out. If you're still affirming the topic, which is a specific argument they conceded, this is a jurisdictional voter and a reason why severance counterplans are why severance firms are uniquely justified, because you'd still be affirming the topic in a world where you voted for the counterplan. This is a reason why you should vote affirmative in the first place. It's a conceded argument. It's a way you view the counterplan debate in of itself. Whereas if we win that argument, that the counterplan in of itself is an affirmation of the topic, then you vote affirmative. This is a conceded argument in the 2NR. What? Yeah, this is a conceded argument in the 2NR and a specific reason as to why you vote affirmative. Go to the 2AC10, the ADS reactor. She says that we also use FBRs. However, they've conceded the Dean 6 evidence, which contextualizes this. It specifically says thorium power uses these specifically uses these type of ADS reactors. The point we're reading evidence on is, and the intent for 1AC is clear, and it allows for the contextualization and 2AC clarification. Additionally, all their net benefit arguments stem from fast breeder reactors, which means if we win ADS, no link to the net benefits.
Yeah, let's see Dean and let's see the card.
Yeah. Great.
The card.
The Dean 6